Greetings, mortals. It is I, Remortis, and today we're diving deep into the world of Baldur's Gate 3 and discovering what lies just beyond this awesome game. If you've been enjoying your time in the Forgotten Realms, you're in for a treat. We're going to talk about what to do after playing Baldur's Gate 3, and why you should consider taking your love for this fantasy realm to a whole new level. So you just wrapped up your latest adventure in Baldur's Gate 3. Whether it's your second, third, fourth, or maybe even your first playthrough. You've made some tough decisions, battled some fearsome foes, and maybe even discovered a bit of romance along the way. But now what? Well, one option is to dive back in and explore different choices, character builds, and storylines. Larian Studios provided a rich, dynamic world, and there are countless ways to experience it. You can try out new character classes, make different moral decisions, or even recruit different party members. The possibilities are nearly endless. To a point. But here's where things get even more exciting. If you've been enchanted by the world of Baldur's Gate 3, there's another way to take your love for this universe to a whole new level. And that is by playing Dungeons & Dragons. Dungeons & Dragons is one of the more popular tabletop role-playing games out there at the moment, and it is the inspiration for Baldur's Gate 3 after all. In D&D, you don't just control a character, you become that character. You make the choices, you craft the story, and your imagination is only the limit. So, why should you give Dungeons & Dragons a shot after playing Baldur's Gate 3? Well, first, it's all about creativity. You get to create your own character from scratch. Do you want to be a daring rogue? A wise wizard? A fearsome barbarian, or maybe a charming bard. It's your choice. You can craft your backstory, personality, and even your character's goals and dreams. And look, this character sheet becomes your passport to adventure. It tracks your abilities, skills, even your own epic story to an extent. And just like in Baldur's Gate 3, you can level up, collect magical items, and uncover the mysteries of the world, all while having a blast with your friends. And speaking of friends, Dungeons & Dragons is all about teamwork and camaraderie. You'll embark on grand quests with a party of fellow adventurers, each with their own unique strengths and weaknesses. Whether you're huddled around a table with friends or exploring a virtual world online, the bonds you form with your party can be just as memorable as those in Baldur's Gate 3. Okay, so you're ready to take the plunge into Dungeons & Dragons, but where do you start? Typically, D&D is played in person with about 3 to 5 players and another person acting as the Dungeon Master, who is responsible for creating, narrating, and overseeing the entire D&D campaign by acting as the storyteller, referee, and world builder.
Hello?
I feed Trinket a chocolate.
You hear some rattling, some movement, and you hear the shattering of glass inside. You hear a... Victor, are you in there?
Just a moment!
Suddenly the door whoosh slams open, and there before you see Victor, half covered in soot, has a big old thick pair of glasses on his face, one of which is cracked. You can see his chin now has this kind of puffed out, partially burnt and curled bit of a goatee at the very tip of his chin. And he kind of looks up at you with these giant eyes that are, projected and magnified by his eyewear. Like,
Can I help you?
Yes, it's Percival. Do you remember me?
No!
If you don't have friends who would like to play, you could always try a local gaming or hobby store, which sometimes hosts campaigns for a variety of tabletop games, not just D&D. And if you do want the more classic feeling of playing in person, Wizards of the Coast does offer a starter set that includes everything you might need to begin your journey, whether it's pre-made characters, an adventure book, dice, and all of the rules you'll need to get started, at least just to figure things out till you make your own stuff. But hey, I know, one of the best appeals for Baldur's Gate 3 is that you can play it with your friends online from the comfort of your own home, on your computer, or other gaming system. And honestly, in this day and age, playing from the comfort of your own home without having to go outside is pretty great. Luckily, there are a lot of resources you can use to play virtually with other folks too, such as Roll20 or Foundry Virtual Tabletop, which is what I personally use, along with a slew of other resources that you could use for both online or in-person play, from character generators, phone apps, for character sheets, or other things to make things easier and more accessible than the classic pen and paper feel. But come on, nothing ever really beats rolling those magical math die and landing that natural 20 to beat that big ass boss.
Natural 20!
Resources such as D&D Beyond are pretty sweet, which I personally use quite a lot, at least for easy character sheet management, which some virtual tabletops pull from as well. Alright, that's cool and all, we have the resources to play, but what about the most valuable resource? Friends and people to play with. Well, sadly, this isn't a video on how to make friends, but you might make some new friends on my Discord server posted in the description. I personally run a few games online with some of my friends as well as other folks in Discord. I'm only one guy who has a full-time job and a family, and I can't play with everyone, sadly. Which is why I want to introduce you to an amazing Discord server called Alt-Roll. If you truly want to learn how to play D&D and to easily find a group, I strongly suggest hopping over to the Alt-Roll Discord. Awesome place. I've played a few campaigns and even hosted some here before. They even have training sessions on how to be a dungeon master. And for that alone, I highly suggest you guys check out this Discord. They have plenty of looking for group channels where you can find somebody to play with. And everyone there is super friendly. And that, dear adventurers, is the next step after playing Baldur's Gate 3. Whether you're a seasoned role player or completely new to tabletop gaming, Dungeons & Dragons offers a world of endless possibilities. Just waiting for you to explore. But that's just the beginning. There are plenty of other amazing tabletop RPGs out there, such as Pathfinder 2nd Edition and even the Cyberpunk or Warhammer RPGs. But D&D is the obvious first step into the TTRPG world after playing Baldur's Gate 3 after all. So gather your party, roll some dice, and embark on a new adventure filled with epic tales, daring battles, and unforgettable memories. The world of Dungeons & Dragons is ready to welcome you with open arms. Happy adventuring! And that's all I have for you today, folks. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, may your rolls be nat 20s and your adventures legendary. Farewell for now.